they don't, then they will struggle in a best of 5 because you got to be able to play multiple aspects of the game. They are no longer the team that can just destroy everyone in 20 minutes.
And the reason, of course, I asked that question, both of these teams are locked into playoffs. If Misfits can pick up a win here, they will guarantee themselves at minimum a tiebreaker for a top 4 seed.
And remember, if you're Misfits, you have 0 championship points. You need to go to Worlds in order for this year to be a success. You almost beat SKT last year. You can't follow that up by not even making Worlds if you're the Misfits organization. So they need to get as far as possible in the playoff run, potentially even win the EU LCS split and get that Worlds position for themselves. And what I'm looking at in this game, down towards the bottom lane, Yanan has played Ashe and Varus now. He's no longer the guy just picking mages in the bot lane. His Varus yesterday was great. He can still do it with the Rakan pick, but also sets up a potential Sire Rakan for these guys. And that's something normally Misfits like to see because they can draft the Draven. So I don't think we're going to see an early Xayah.
Well, we'll find out. Wadid is 1-0 on that champion. He's got an 18 KDA. He went 2-0-16 the last time he played it. Misfits with a very quick fire response, insta-locking that Trundle and Rise.
Favorite jungler for most of the EU players in the Trundle once things like Nocturne and so on and Talia is removed. Rise as well. While it is a flex pick, I'm not expecting a Hansama Rise. I think he's going to stick to 80 carries. So most likely it's the mid lane. If they do this, Draven, Misfits, give it to me. I know it's with Jessis and you're not playing the win lane, but Hansama said the last time he saw Sire Rakan, he's like, I love playing Draven against this compo.
And he's done it multiple times. I mean, Hansama's Draven, the split 3-0. His kills, deaths, and assists 15, 2, and 15. And he has more highlight plays on Draven the split than most people do in their careers.
Yeah, if he does not pick the Draven, it surely tells us that Misfits do not have confidence that Hansama and Jessis will stomp the lane.
Is it ban-worthy?
They would have done it with Mickey.
Is it ban-worthy? Could G2 afford or opt into banning in Phase 2?
If they think the Misfits can actually pick it and win lane with it, sure, they can ban it. But if they're like, yeah, you know what? We're not scared of that 2v2 lane. So we can leave it open.
What would you do?
I would be okay gambling and saying we don't need to ban it, but I feel like if you want to be safe, you just remove it.
Oh, it's such a difficult question. I think this is maybe why G2 are having the debate. Orianna was the ban by Misfits, and in the last second, G2 Esports take out
top lane.
The Gangplank. That is another very good champion for Alphari. And it will buy us a few more seconds. Will Draven be banned? Will Draven be available?
They're sending such a big message because Draven is also even better on this patch. He can run Conqueror Stormrazor again. There was a bug around it in the last patch, so you couldn't actually build Stormrazor if you had Conqueror on him in the LCS, but that is available now. You can do it. It's what most Draven players would do.
Oh man, look at the next ban here. LeBlanc taken away from Perks. Carly was banned out. He played it yesterday. Definitely did not look quite as comfortable with the team as Caps and Fnatic did. The final ban's going to be Ezreal. The gauntlet has been thrown.
Well, Hansama, you are the famous Draven player.
I think you have to do it. Come on. Undefeated, 15, 2, and 15. He has the ability. But does he have the trust and the confidence and the communication with a new bot lane? This is only the second game that Hansama and Jessis have played together on stage.
Oh, the music is perfect here. He hovered it for a second, but it's looking like the Kai'Sa instead.
Oh, okay,
he did not go for Draven. It means that Misfits do not trust in Hansama or Jessis to stomp this bot lane with the Draven. Like they did early in the split with Mickey, Hansama sat on our interview bench and said, yes, I see that combo. I don't even practice the Draven, but I take it when I see Sire Rakan. Not today. Kai'Sa instead, it's a lot more late game for Misfits. It's why they put in Jessis, is to fix that part of the game, and that's what they're drafting towards with the Kai'Sa specifically. And Perks gets a Yasuo, Wonder gets a carry. Let's just call it a carry top lane with the builds you can go for on the Gnar. G2 Esports, it's a strong composition with a ton of engage, great knockups, and Perks on Yasuo.
I just see early game, AD damage, maybe some split push power as well. So G2 win early or don't win, or is it not that simple?
There's enough engage on their side, they can always catch people out in the late game. Let's see what happens on the side of Misfits. Looks like a Kennen top lane against the Gnar. Something we see quite often, and obviously with Kennen here, you can then opt into either a pure AD build on your side and you try and beat the Gnar in the 1v1, or you just go AP and you try and be as strong in teamfights. But I think this one might be AD Gnar on his side, because we have the Rise going to the other side lane, and you have then Tom Kench holding down the mid lane. If the communication on Misfits is improved with Jesses, this is the kind of draft where you can prove it, because it's a 1-3-1 comp with globals and multiple TPs. Great communication makes these kind of comps look fantastic. Bad communication, and you fall flat on your face.
And of course, that directly results to going even, getting to a position where you can set up those 1-3-1, set up the map play and make use of this side lane pressure Tom Kench, something you talked about in the previous game, Deficio. With the Kennen and Rise being able to play on multiple lanes, or the fact that Hans Summers Kaisa can jump in, he has teleports, he's got the killer instinct.
This is a great pick and ban phase.
Oh, this is so exciting. And
so many small stories.
It's also very interesting because it didn't go the way that I was anticipating. You know, I really thought the Draven was going to come in, for example, and I wasn't expecting Xayah, Rakan, Yasuo, Na from G2, and Hyanin and Wadid have not been the greatest in the AD carry supports, all split long in those 2v2s. So
I think Hyanin has always looked good on things like Varus on his side and Jhin. These kind of champs, long range poke, some big potential. He's not always been able to show up on the big crit AD carries.
Yep.
This is the first time all year long he's playing the Xayah. We're seeing a complete meta shift from G2 Esports. No longer major spot lane, not even supportive, or utility AD carries. Instead, it's Xayah Rakan. They're putting full faith in Hyanin with beating the Hansama Jesse's lane, the new support on Misfits, with again the first Xayah Rakan combination from them.
And if they can punish that Tom Kench, if they can just tilt him, get Jez's behind, maybe that can unlock it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our Week 8 match of the week. G2 Esports and Misfits under threat and pressure of Schalke 04 and trying to get themselves one step closer to that bye, one step closer to a semi-finals berth. And it means winning out as many of the games going forward as you can.
So let's see this game here on the side of G2 Esports. I went in and looked at the all-time stats for Hyanin, so going back many, many years on his side as well. And looking at specifically...
Hold that thought really quick,
okay,
Deficio, because we do have the POV stream up and running over at Twitch TV Riot Games 2. We'll be following Perks, get the inside knowledge on how he controls his Yasuo, how G2 activates him and plays around him. And of course, there's the link once again. For now, let's go back to the story.
I was just going to say, he's currently sitting, he's played 5 Xayah games in his career. He's only won a single one of them so far. This, again, is a big change for G2 Esports.
Are you a believer in curses?
Not really.
Okay, because historical stats tell you that Hyanin's got a very bad record. And the POV stream is probably cursed.
Well, I just want to highlight, I think Hyanin, actually, if you look at the last couple of games, have looked very good. Ashe and Varus have been solid from his side, especially the Varus yesterday was huge in winning the game for G2. Like, I think this is the correct time to do it if you are G2. Put your faith down towards him with the crit AD carry, crit items being a bit cheaper. It actually benefited something like Xayah because she wants to build them in a way. You know, we've seen the Storm Razor rush so often, and then you get an IH as a third item. Well, that's great. Xayah loves this kind of patch.
And almost... we talked about the philosophical question in Picks and Bans, Deficio. G2 leaning into their strengths. Hyanin's playing well. Let's give him a duo that's good. Let's try activating.
Yep.
Misfit trying to fix their weaknesses by maybe swapping out Mickey for Jez's. Let's see which strategy is victorious. Maxlor gives a little a drive-by and a wave to Perks.
I think it's important to highlight with the change that it wasn't because Mickey was underperforming or had a bad split. He's actually been looking very good in a lot of the games for Misfits. It was simply because they've lost so many games towards the second half, and something had to change on their side. And they have 2 weeks before playoffs. They're already in the top 6, and the question is again, are you fighting for first place, or are you just fighting, you know, to get a somewhat decent seed? And I think Misfits said, we want to try and fix our problems for playoffs and not try and rush towards a first place where we might not actually learn anything. So I think that's why, again, the change happened. And Jess he's a veteran. He's been to Worlds twice. Obviously, he was on Fnatic last year when they made it to Worlds. And he's a shot caller. So that's what they want to bring.
Well, shot calling is going to need to be impeccable as Jankos is making the first move.
First gank for Jankos often tells a lot about his performance in the game. When it backfires, he falls really far behind. When it works, he can suddenly start snowballing out of control.
All right, that's a flash already into the belly. Body slam.
Perfect.
First blood, flawless. That was beautiful.
And the reason I highlight that, it sounds obvious if you fail the first gank, you fall behind. But with Jankos, it's more than we normally see from junglers because he's really been shut down in some games when the first move backfired. And then we've seen some Taliyah games where he just wins the whole early game for his team. This on Gragas, good first gank from him. Very important for his confidence in the game and almost too easy. Alfari just pushing up. Jankos walks in behind and yeah, you might flash, but Jankos can just body slam you.
And not only did they get the kill, the flash, they also got the teleport out of Senkux. Not a huge deal right now, but advantage G2. And at nearly 5 minutes in game, I want to take a look at the early game stats over the last 4 games that both G2 and Misfits has played. You can see the goal difference marginally ahead for G2, minus a K for Misfits. Towers at 15, your average number of towers secured. Misfits, while they're getting some, it's G2 on the other end. So some differences in approach, and obviously you can see the kill to death ratio. There's already a kill to G2.
See what happens top lane here. Maxlore is sitting and effectively protecting Alfari because he doesn't have a flash, so he allows him to push. And if the enemy jungler shows up, there is a chance you can turn it around and win the 2v2 fight. Sadly for Maxlore, nothing is actually happening, but that's great for Alfari because he just wants to push out the lane, seeing as he's sitting there
Yep.
without his flash.
Up there in the end.
That's the important part.
Exactly. And of course, I think, you know, the confidence point you mentioned, or the impact that the first Jankos gank has on the game could be very pivotal. Senkux not going to land that overload as Perkz threw down the wind wall to block off some of the damage. Currently plus 6 CS to Perkz' Yasuo, as Senkux is trying to shove him in, and the rest of the lanes are about even. It's 6 separating Hansama and Hyanin for now too.
And I'm definitely expecting Misfits to play topside very heavily in this game here. Alfari press the attack, so it is the AD cannon as we highlighted in Champ Select. Rise ulti is one of those very long cooldowns, very impactful ones, where if you execute the first one, yeah, you can suddenly get your top laner ahead, and it has to work for the Rise to be successful. So I'm really looking at Misfits to just try and leave the bottom side. It can also explain why they went for Kai'Sa and not the Draven, because they don't want to opt into bot lane when they have the cannon pick already. And that's what they can do with this draft. So let's see what happens now. Senku is level 6. Maxwell can clear his bot side, path to top again, and then Wonder needs to be aware that he's going to be a target.
Well, Wonder is still pushing very, very heavily, shoving that wave in. Alfari went back. He's come back with that second Doran's Blade, cloth armor. Ninja Tab already picked up for Wonder, so you know, trying to mitigate some of those autos. That's coming down. But no TP for Wonder, no TP for Alfari, despite them having their ultimate. Senkux will come up very, very shortly.
Ooh, short range TP on the side.
Nonan really does not want to miss any CS. He's down 13, by the way. Hansama and Jez's doing very well to pull ahead in this lane.
It's also because Jankos was moving into the jungle of Misfits, so you needed some sort of backup to at least be somewhat nearby. So him actually TPing back to lane instantly allowed him to get a small push going, and then he could maybe move. In this case here, Sama of course just TPs back himself, and we'll go even. I'm waiting for level 6 for G2's bottom lane if they want to do something.
Okay. A couple of CS away from that one. Dead steps forward, lands that Gleaming Quill, and Zaya Rakan just doing a good job of holding the wave for now. And you can see that, you know, that huge wave and a half difference has already been evened out with a little bit of alone time in lane.
Yeah, and it's good laning so far from Misfits. It's a fine matchup as well. Like, we kept talking about the Draven because that's what we normally would see
and
from
what we wanted
Hansama.
to see.
And what we saw early in the split. Yana, though, I said this before, his Varus yesterday was insane. He hard carried G2 in that game. Needs to do the same here on this Zaya because Wonder might be under a lot of pressure and he's against the cannon pick. Let's see what happens top.
Oh, Jankos is nearby. There goes the body slam. Not going to find the target yet. Explosive cost sends Maxlore away and the teleport will complete.
Here we
Wonder
go.
goes down. Alfari picks up the kill. And Senkux just arrived. He didn't get the assist. Oh, he did get the assist, actually.
Same kind of place we saw before where Maxwell was just sitting top lane.
Yeah.
He's waiting for some action to happen so he can counter gank instantly. Get Alfari at bot lane.
Hyanin's got level 6. The Featherstorm's available to him, but Wadid does not have the quickness. Tower Dive is on the books. Flash is available for Jankos. And whoa! He just gets obliterated.
This is perfect for Misfits and exactly what they want to do with this lineup here with Jesse's on the team, more defensive, more focused on globals, and get Alfari ahead on this cannon here.
And if you guys at home think G2 or Misfits are going to win, spam G2 or MSF in chat. Right now, Misfits plus 500 gold despite conceding first blood, this play was fantastic to get them ahead.
Yep, Maxlow waiting up here, trying to either set up a gank or just counter gank when something happens. And the moment the engage happens from Wonder, he realizes, wait, this is not great. It is almost impossible for me to get out. Also with the TP coming, and Jankos, at this point, he should just leave. But he's hoping maybe he can kill the wave in time. He even puts down the ward saying, ha, I will see you. What does it matter if you see them if you're going to die anyway?
Yeah, and of course they realm warped over the ward anyway.
Didn't even see him. The ward was useless.
There we go. Wasting all of that cash. And of course, with the replay, with the fact that Misfits just put together a couple of kills, fans at home are currently biased towards Misfits. Not a convincing vote, though, Deficial.
If this vote had popped up like a couple of minutes ago when G2 got the first kill, 80% G2.
But that's results-based analysis, and that's not what we're trying to do here.
Or it's in the moment analysis, because you feel like Misfits, by being ahead in gold, have the high chance of winning.
Also, kudos to everybody at home. I know I've just heard from production that there is a lot of spam going. As, by the way, Syntax is dead. It's not moving because it is even. People are still spamming.
A little bit, but now, it's going to go G2 now because they got a kill for Perks.
If we keep this up a little bit longer, let's see whether or not the G2 votes will change. I'll have to get
production hates you, Trevor.
Let me know. For now, G2 with the solid roam. Kid made his way up. No summoner spells invested, and an easy kill that lands in Perks' hands.
And while it was great for Misfits before they got these kills on Altharian, that's exactly what they wanted. Perks in the mid lane is really far ahead, and he just got his first kill. Senkux has moved from the lane a few times already, lost a couple of waves because of it, lost another one by dying here. And look at this, G2 Esports, they're playing on the other side of the map. One is left alone, they're fighting.
Oh, take a look at that. The battle, grand entrance rather, gets the knockup. Perk managed to find one with the Steel Tempest, and Hans Summer, very cheeky with that Kai'Sa, using the killer instinct to escape. And of course, the results-based analysis coming out, G2 get a significant number of kills in Tower First Blood, as well as the fan votes.
Action analysis, Trevor, is working. There's no result yet. No one has won yet on the side of G2 or Misfits. But what's happening is just opposite strategies. G2, Zyra Khan, bot side focus. Misfits, Kennen, top side. And so far, both teams have found openings to try and execute on this early game win condition. But G2, they pulled the last big play with the move down bot lane after killing Senkux in mid. Great execution on this tower dive, and while Hansama with a nice little play gets out, still G2 getting out ahead. Let's see, Riftel just died in favor of Maxlow once again. Trading, always cross-mapping. That's what I like to see from even games between two teams who understand how to split the map and play on two different sides.
It's 1,000 gold advantage for G2. They've got that 1 tower to 0, 3 kills to 2. And when we came out of the replay, you can notice Jez making his way towards Senkux. If you look at some of his stats from yesterday, 0-0-5. But the thing I want to draw your eyes to is the duo proximity. How much time during the game did he spend near Hans Summer? Did he carry 50%? And now he's on this time Kench. He needs to adapt that, needs to play differently to really get the most out of this champion and unlock this composition for Misfits.
Right, and to highlight, when we have Pyke games, the Pyke typically spends around, 25-30% near his dual lane, and then he's roaming otherwise, and that's kind of the thing we're showing. In this case here, 50% is there. I like to sit with my AD carry for as long as possible. I love a long laning phase. I don't need to go anywhere. Then you often sit around that 50% mark, and that's exactly what Jess just did. Once again, Max Low is trying his luck top lane. Can he sneak in?
Well, take a look at the wards. Thank you for the vision toggle. Wonder, I don't think he's aware of it.
I mean, he kind of knows that they're going to be topside because it's the way Misfits wins this game. So he should know, and he's playing very passive at the moment.
Well, look at the itemization and the CS differences. Ninja Tabby, Kindle Gem into Ninja Tabby, a couple of attack speed daggers and swords, basically, but nothing huge. It's the mid lane that is continuing to grow. Phantom Dancer picked up for Perks. He's got a 30 CS advantage. Senkux is just thrift shopping with a couple of components and nothing yet upgraded.
Well, let's see if Senkux can push the lane and actually go towards top lane and secure another kill for Althari into a top lane turret. That's really what you want to do once you get your top laner ahead, is secure the turret, so your top laner can start pushing down the enemy guy all the way to his tier 2, and suddenly you have no top lane control. You gotta constantly fear that his cannon is moving in towards your mid lane. Like, it's really annoying to play against when you fall behind in this 1v1. But as long as the turret is there, G2 can keep stalling on top side, and Wonder just needs to be passive. Wait for the team to make a play. It's not about him this game. It's all about Perks and Yanen.
And both of them are very comfortable right now.
And now they're coming to him.
He's got the Storm Razor picked up. A little bit ahead in terms of power for now against Hans Summer's Kai'Sa. And G2, they've grouped up towards the top. Now Jez is starting this Abyssal Voyage What sort of play is being set up? Jumps into the party with Alfario maxed up, but G2 I think had already peeled backwards.
Mid lane is open now. That was very early from Misfits. They tried to pull off the defensive play, which allows Perkz now to push in the wave. And look at what W8D is positioned at the Raptor camp. Just trying to be there, spot if enemies coming. That wave is going to crash into the turret. Senkux will catch it though. But Misfits used the defensive time Kench ult before the tower dive happened. And then they lose the map control.
Do you feel like G2 were aware of it? Do you think that was a play they sort of anticipated and backed away?
I mean, what they're calling is, okay, Tahm Kench is not showing bot lane, so he has to be around mid. That means he can reach the top lane. So guys, do not go all in on a tower dive because he will show up with someone. And that's why they don't do it. They just push in the wave and then they go mid instead.
Got it.
So that's constantly just communication and knowing the position of the semi-global, which the Tahm Kench ulti is.
Now we need to see whether or not Jezzes and Misfits can find some calls to counteract G2 reading them, right? If Jezzes is coming in for some of the shot calling, some of the leadership, you know, some of the macro knowledge that maybe he has accrued and has in his back pocket.
Hopefully in his brain, not his back pocket.
Got to outshine G2. Got to outshine Perkz and crew. That first play, G2, they're going to maintain this 1,500 gold lead as we get close to 15 minutes. The engage is onto Senkax, and that's a great devour, blocking so much of the damage, but the wind wall is keeping the Overlord from doing anything else. Hans Summit needs to step forward, trying to get some Icathian rain, and the Realm Warp is already disengaged. The tower has fallen in the mid lane, so G2 with the advantage, but nobody dies.
And because Misfits only have the top lane, they can actually try and play around. They're currently losing bot and mid lane, so it's G2 pushing in, it's G2 going for the aggressive play. Good defensive move, still cost Misfits 2 flashes on their carries, and exhaust used by Jesses and the mid lane turret died. Alfario had to TP in to try and join, which means the Rift L placed might not even get the top lane turret. I think if you are Alfario, I understand the call. Join my team, I want to help them, they're getting killed in mid lane. But I think he needed to stay top lane there and try and get a turret in a trade.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the fact that he did go mid, Deficio, means that Misfits are now 2,500 gold behind. They've lost bottom, they've lost mid tower. G2 have already been pretty comfortable, pretty coordinated when pushing forward and pushing into Misfits jungle. And they've got themselves a good advantage as we head into the mid game.
Oh, Senkux, you gotta be careful here. Because your entire team is now going bot lane. You actually, because Alfario's bot lane, he's the guy you're playing around. Not fun to be the one in the top lane.
Jankos picks a fight.
Alright, pretty fun, he just walks out. Anyway, what's gonna be interesting to follow is what can the Tahm Kench do from the mid lane towards the Kennen lane? And can Misfits get Alfario far enough ahead so he can actually win you this game? Other option is you go full late game with the Kai'Sa. Here we go, bot lane, attacking the turret.
Find out, the tower is the focus, Abyssal Voyage buys so much time. It's a cannon minion wave as well, so Misfits could commit to a deeper push.
Yeah, they can try and go all the way in here for tier 2. It's only Perkz on bottom side. He's a Yasuo, he cannot defend on his own. Mid lane turret is already down, and yeah, Wonder will trade for top. But look at Misfits.
1-for-1 so far. Misfits are looking to take the second. This will fall. All right, good push. This will end up being 2-for-1. Once Wonder's able to take that out, so a good response from Misfits to get themselves an advantage, but there's deep, deep vision inside Misfits jungle now.
But that's the power of the Tahm Kench ulti. You can do this so much faster than the other team. Yana and W8D could not have rushed top lane and done the exact same trade because they would have been really far behind on the play. So Misfits just saw an opening. Oh, bot lane is open. Yeah. Enemy team is going to push in along mid lane. We don't care. They're not going to take a turret. Let's make the play for a tower here. So they actually get a good little trade in their favor. Obviously, Wonder got the top lane turret, but it's 2-for-1. And you're already down in gold.
Yes.
So definitely a win for Misfits.
Absolutely the case. And of course, this means first item spikes have started to come in now for Misfits. Archangel, Stormrazor, Blade of the Rune King, all picked up. Hyonin is a Zeal ahead, thanks to the assist and a couple of extra towers.
And this is again the funny thing about the 8.15 patch with, you know, Zeal being cheaper, Stormrazor cheaper, IH cheaper. It was obviously a buff that was meant to benefit some of the AD carries we don't see in pro play, like you know, the Tristana here in Europe or the others in late game crit AD carries. Zyra was already good.
Yep.
And then she just said, oh, it's great, yeah, keep buffing all these, you know, Tristana and all these guys. Like, it's perfect because I'm just going to benefit as well, even though I'm already good. And you're going to see now, Stormrazor comes in early. He's going to get 100 gold faster to his Seal upgrade. He's going to get even faster to an IH. He loves it.
Is the same theory true for Yasuo? That he also gets some of those items?
Actually, by IH doing less damage, it actually did hurt him a bit. And it was interesting because the designers had on PBE put in a Yasuo buff because they felt like the change to IH hurt him too
That
much. I believe he got removed again, from what I saw on Reddit. And Yasuo is being played in this game, so according to the pros, it's definitely good enough without any additional buffs.
Indeed, and I think according to Perks, Perks and Caps, I think I'm pretty happy to see them keep playing Yasuo. Two guys that have really stepped up, and G2 now going to continue to push in vision. I think the vast majority of this game, they have had some sort of vision control or vision superiority inside the Misfits top quadrant. Shove onto this inner turret, uncontested. This is just going to drop completely.
Because you're watching a game where it's 2 winning lanes against 1 winning lane on the side of Misfits. It makes it hard for them to play. Let's see if we can get a fight. Nope.
Nope.
No one wanted to take that one. And Afari, a little bit too early to push for an inhib turret.
I guess you don't really want to realm warp into a Mega Gnaw. There is a pretty instant win the fight now button in his Gnaw. So Misfits don't pull the trigger. They're still 3k behind. Yes, they traded that wave for the tower, but it's not enough. They're still falling too far behind.
But what we're waiting for if you're Misfits is Kennen will get stronger and stronger in the 1v1 because he's building for split push on his side. Hansama scaling is great on a Kai'Sa. But that's about it. Like, until you get to that point where Alfari is so strong in 1v1, he will just consistently bully out Wonder. It's hard for Misfits to do a lot on the map. They're kind of just relying on Tahm-Kench ultis to get a numbers advantage, and G2 are not allowing that at the moment. So it is G2 controlled.
Yep.
It's only 20 minutes, no Baron has been taken yet, but that's 2 items on Perks. It's a huge CS advantage, and I don't know if they even care about the Kennen, because Wonder's played pretty passive all game long.
Well, G2 have played very controlled as well. You talked about Perks on 2 items. If you want to see if he can actually, help G2 win this game, go check out POV stream. Twitch.tv/RiotGames2. You can actually look at Perks' viewpoint right now, as we have done so. And I think when you look at some of the synergies between the Gragas, the Gnaw, the Rakan, there's a lot of tools that will help Perks get those knockups.
Oh, yeah.
Before you even look at the kit himself. So, there's a lot of options here for Perks.
It's such an all-in comp they have. With so much engage, backed up by Yasuo, who always reach the backline as long as one of the engage tools will. Like, Yankees can literally just throw his ult. He's like, here you go. Ult on this. So it's very easy for them to set up Perks, which is why it's so important that he's ahead in this game. Misfits are the one behind. Misfits are the one who did not get Alfari far enough ahead in the game. And that's slowed down everything for them.
Yeah, Tefisha, 2 items accrued for most of G2. At least the important ones for now. You've got that Oblivion Bulb alongside Runic Echoes. And take a look at this. Maxlaw going to use that stopwatch already. He will get taken down. Last breath comes out. Survives a few seconds longer thanks to that Subjugate. But just caught napping. No support from the rest of Misfits. It's a 3.5k gold lead. It's 2 dragons more. It's 2 towers more. G2 have every single metric in their favor.
This is one of the best G2 games we've seen in weeks. Like, the actual playing is very, very clean, and they're putting so much emphasis on the Yasuo. Jess is trying to catch him on top side with Afari, but Perks is already gone. Might even look for a fight here, and Misfits.
Just donate the tower.
Your mid lane is open now.
Here we go. Tower number 5 conceded. No, tower number 5 goes down at the cost of an Abyssal Voyage. Jez is trying to set something up in the top lane, and G2 punish it. They push that lead even further. If you look at the minimap, they have just littered vision inside Misfits jungle, and it feels somewhat similar to a previous game, Deficio, with just one squad really taking control of the game, grabbing it by the reins, and not letting their opponents in.
We're getting an item I was waiting for, however.
Okay.
The Rage Blade on Afari. Like, this is the true split push build, where your autos, the combination between the 2 items, especially after Rage Blade, it's so effective if you get a long trade, if you get these long fights in a side lane between just one single member. Does not help you in a team fight, but really helps you in the 1v1. Hard to execute when you are behind. When you have lost your turrets on the outside, and the enemy team can force a Baron, and then you have to join. I thought I actually completed the TP earlier. Is there a potential fight here? Wonder is top lane or bot lane though?
Well, it's not a potential. Looks like it is a fight. Knock-up available. Perks does not decide to breathe on Maxlaw. Hansama also picked up his Rage Blade, so continuing to scale up. It's now 5,000 gold deficit. Misfits, they cannot afford to go toe-to-toe in a big 5v5.
And all G2 is doing is push mid, go into the jungle, then Afari can't push. Afari has to go bot lane, but he can't because there's no TP, and then G2 can rush Baron. So you have a couple of minutes where life sucks if you're Misfits.
It feels like it's been 20 minutes.
That's fair. That is fair. It's been 20 minutes so far. Like, you can't actually use your comp at the moment Alfari is not, also Ansam is not strong enough to fight.
Yeah.
And Alfari doesn't have a TP to split push. So you're just waiting for G2 to do something.
Oh, what did coming down with the quickness, chasing onto Hans Summer. Not gonna find the knockout yet. Maxwell will go down thanks to the Blade Caller, and G2. Again, they're just making this look easy. They're pushing Misfits. The Misfits appear to be crumbling in every one of these engages.
Just making look very smooth in his game here, Misfits. And the comp can't do a whole lot against them right now. Baron not started, but did obviously use his ulti in the last fight, and same thing for Jankos, so not super easy to set up Perks, but I think I can just start the Baron. Like, worst case, Misfits walk in 4 members and you just kill them.
Yeah, exactly. Perks, very, very close to level 16. Gonna have that max ultimate, has it available for the fight. Jankos decides to peel away.
Small problem, Jankos, not a lot of armor on his side, so he can't actually tank the Baron properly. Wants some damage on that Gragas.
All right, looking for a team fight again. G2 at 25 minutes. They're playing this one by the textbook, so to speak. Windwall comes up. What did? Battle dances over the wall. There's a root down on the bottom, and that's a kill for Misfits. That's onto Wonder. Meganar didn't come out, so the pause button has just been hit for G2's push.
Yeah, we mentioned how they were missing some of the key ultis like Gragas. And of course the Rakan ulti here to actually fully engage the fight, and Wonder without the Meganar gets caught out. Quick kill for Misfits. Should just give them a bunch of wards and a little bit of time around the Baron itself. And then we go back to G2 controlling once Wonder is back alive. Ooh, Perks looking for something.
Optimistic, but if that Q had found its targets...
But like, once he completes the next item here, either it's BT or it's gonna be GA, like, suddenly you can't actually even burst him down.
Nope.
And that's always the problem with Yasuo in the late game, is typically the answer when he jumps in is try to kill him as fast as possible.
Is this gold lead too big to come back from on the Misfits side?
I think it's going to require Hans Sama to play an absolutely insane late game on Kai'Sa for Misfits to win this game.
Got it. Well, if anybody was going to be able to do it, Hans Summer's the man. And you know what? There is an X factor amongst many of the players. Yesterday, Misfits should have lost a game to H2K. They were behind, they were losing, they were being beaten, and Maxwell found a clutch Baron steal. Managed to find it. That was the play that brought Misfits back into it. That was what allowed them to pick up their 11th win. And Misfits, it's 5K now at 25 minutes. If they can keep holding on and get to the late game, then at least that sort of encourages or sets up the Senkuk's Hans Summer late game.
It gives you a win condition you're currently missing, because Alfari split push and will be shut down by Baron start. And that's the problem for Misfits now. They are behind. Luckily, they find a way after all of G2 recalled when they lost Wonder to secure a turret. Jankos is going to find Senkuk's.
Or Senkuk's is going to find Jankos. The Rune Prison comes down. That's not a lot of MR. Abyssal Voyage plus Realm Warp is used and taken. Oh. Where's the Killer Instinct? There goes Hans Summer. It's Senkuk's that gets the kill. Misfits in the last few minutes. They're finding their feet, and they're finding a way back into the game. Perks does not find an ultimate, but look at the minimap. Wonder and Hyonin are barreling down mid.
Yeah, G2 trying to force Misfits to decide between starting Baron or going back to defend the inhib here. Hyonin is on the turret. Wonder's moving in. Not even close to Meganar yet, but they're hovering around the Baron here. Turret will go down mid lane, but Jan, he's leaving. He's about to join the fight.
Yeah, Hyonin needs to be here. 4 on 5. Baron is being shredded and melted and destroyed with the double rage blade. Knockup! G2 Esports destroy Misfits. Senkuk's picks up the Baron, but at the cost of his entire team. Hans Summer and Senkuk's are running for their lives. They find themselves on the wrong side of the rift, and G2 come a knocking. There goes Hans Summer. Senkuk's will find Jankos in a moment or two, and Misfits will be aced. That knock-up combo with Perks was fantastic.
Misfits felt like they had a chance here. Maybe this is the big comeback play. They knew it was a gamble. They walk into the Baron pit against Rakan, and the Yasuo engage, and suddenly you find yourself cornered and you can't get away. Let's see the whole setup again. Like, it's a desperation play where if it works, you're right back in the game. If not, G2 Esports will do exactly this. They get the beautiful engage into a great ulti from Perks, and then all the follow-up damage. Jan untouched completely on this Xayah here. Small note, Misfits got the Baron, so they got something out of it, and they did not lose the mid lane turret. But G2, they're really far ahead in gold.
Oh, they really are. And of course, if G2 win this game, they'll go 11-5. They will tie Misfits in the standings. They will also tie the head-to-head. Last time these teams played, Misfits won that game. Deficio, if we look forward at G2's strength of schedule, they've got Misfits today. Next week, they play Giants and Vitality, and this is G2's road to battle for those top 2 seed spots.
Yeah, that Vitality game, if they win this one, is going to be the key one to try and get the second place. Look at the standings. We're going to have so many teams with 11 wins. Fnatic will play later against Splice, can obviously go to 12.
We're going to hear this sentence a lot. It's the fight for first. I think that might need to be our hashtag for next weekend. I'll poll the team when we get off air.
Fight for top 1.
Fight for top 1. Thank you, Shocks. We'll see who gets a G2 6K gold up. They are top 1 in this game for now.
And Misfits tried the Baron play, will now find themselves in a situation again where they have to team fight, but they're so far behind and they can't do a whole lot.
Oh,
see if they're trying something.
Oh, Abyssal Voyage into Realm Warp. Oh, that did not work the way Misfits had intended it. Here comes Wonder, but he's got no Narbar to play with. And unfortunately for all of us, Perks was pushing another lane, was not able to jump in. It's 30 minutes on the clock. Misfits' last gambit has failed, and Alfari throws down the slicing maelstrom. He needs auto attacks, he needs time, and he's not getting any of it.
Yeah, I mean, Misfits had to try something. Sadly, it was against the one champion that can use an ulti and then you can't kill her, the Xayah. So suddenly it's Yanin just setting up the perfect engage for his team against the Ryze ulti. Misfits might be trying again, but Perks BT does not care.
I'm looking for the knockups, I'm looking for the ultimate combinations. Everything's there except for the bot lane for G2. Inhibitor number 1 falls, inhibitor number 2 falls, and G2 are on the cusp of knocking out Misfits.
And you can see Alfari has changed his path now. He's built, he's saying, you know what, it's not about split push anymore. I need to actually be able to do something in a team fight. So he's having to build tankiness.
Is it too late? Is it too...
I mean, yes, because you picked the cannon to win the top lane. You invested Ryze, ultis, and all of Maxwell's time to try and get Wonder down and get an early turret. That didn't happen other than one kill onto the Gnar. And while that happened, you lost your bot turret, your mid lane fell really far behind.
Listen, I'm an optimist, okay? To me, the glass is always half full, as you know.
Could also be an idiot, I don't know.
And the Ninja Tabai, as well as Randians, is so good into an all-physical comp.
Yes,
okay?
tank cannon, let's go.
It's extra valuable. Perks in the mid lane is the target, but G2 are fully aware. Another 3-man knockup. Misfits are routed and wrecked. The Devourer over the wall with the flash means Alfari stays alive for a few seconds longer. Not before Hyanin and Jankos get themselves too. Perks is looking for another follow-up onto Hans Summer, but he's got no ultimate to play with. 2 more Misfits are down. Super minions are pouring into the base. And by the way, Senkax was not with the team. Was absolutely caught out, and now G2 are on for the final siege, the final push. Can Misfits stop them? G2, they're on the Nexus turret, getting some hits down as the super minions are pouring in. Just one for now. Senkax throws down the shield, stays alive a few seconds longer, trying to pull the aggro, using the full kit of Ryze, sidestepping everything. Senkax stays alive long enough, flashes over the wall, turns his attention to Wonder, but Nexus turrets are dead and done. Now Hans Summer trying to get the damage out. Realm Warp will buy some time, forces G2 to back away. The Nexus is the focus. It is being hammered away by Hyanin, and G2 take down Misfits.
What a clean game from G2 Esports. This is what we wanted to see from a team that started 6-0 in this way. We knew they can do it. We knew they could play like a top team in Europe, and they did in this game. We had the entire goal with the Zyrakan, the Yasuo, was to play on the bottom side. They succeeded with the strategy. Wonder shows, yeah, I can play defensive, I can play passive. I don't need to win my lane to do something. And that was a good look from G2 Esports. Yanin, Zyrakan, first Xayah for him all year long. Very good game.
And his second career win.
There you go.
Hyanin is now 2-6. And ladies and gentlemen, Perks won a game, unkilled, while being the focus of the POV stream. I can say confidently, no POV stream has been that successful to date. G2, of course, take down Misfits, and this, it just makes the standing race, the fight for first, is even more juicy. 11-5.
Schalke, Misfits, G2, currently all tied. Fnatic, if they lose to Splice, will join that group of 4 teams at 11 wins. If Fnatic win the next game, they will get 12 wins and be alone at the first place, and then we have a bunch of guys tied for second.
Unbelievable.
It's perfect.
It's exciting. It's a little sad that we don't have the same race for playoffs like we did in spring. In spring,
I like the race for first place.
That's the flavor difference. Now the teams are playing spoiler, and this post-game breakdown, you can see how controlled G2 were. It never felt like anything Misfits did even had a chance of knocking G2 out.
No, the moment they stopped the snowball from happening top, we kept talking about how G2 have all the advantages on the other sides.
Yeah, and of course, there's got a couple of replays lined up to Fisio. We're going to go quite late into the game. The Wombo combo inside the Baron pit.
Oh, baby.
Because this is what stopped Misfits' comeback potential.
And this is the problem when you're already behind and you feel forced to start the Baron. You want to try and finish it, but you're again so much engaged on the side of G2 with the perfect setup for Perks. And yes, all of G2 will just clean house, take down Misfits, and another key part of winning this game.
Got themselves an ace, and of course after that game, just a heads up that Perks will be joining our analysts ahead of the Fnatic versus Splice game. I'd love to hear if he feels the POV stream is cursed and whatnot.
Well, he just won.
I know he did, but historically it's not been great.
Here's what he's going to say.
Yes.
I am so good that I broke the curse.
Well, I'll tell you what, Deficio, who are our player of the game nominees?
It is currently Perks, Yanen, or Wadid.
And how do I vote?
You vote on Twitter at LOL Esports, and then you also follow at @officiallol, and then you vote for player of the game.
It's not worth it. That second account is mostly just spam. I mean, it's an interesting game. It's
LOL
exciting.
Esports, a lot of spam.
It's good to see G2. A lot of questions around Misfits. I remember these teams, they are fighting to secure that final spot, to secure a spot in Madrid. That's going to be the 8th and the 9th of September. If you want to watch them, go get your tickets, eu.lolesports.com/Madrid. We do have an interview ready. Let's see what Law has to say with us with Wonder.
Thank you very much, Trevor. G2 ending their week here with a 2-0 and strong statement against Misfits today. So finally, are you guys back on tracks?
I think we are decently back on track. I mean, Misfits isn't looking too strong at the moment, so it's not like we are fully back. It's a really good way on our way to lock into top 2 spots. So if we lost today, maybe we wouldn't have made it. So it's really nice, a good feeling. So, yeah.
And you had a nice strategy here with the team fight and also the split push. So why did you make this choice of a draft specifically against Misfits?
Well, I think we usually just draft this. Like we played it in scrims, and we just draft this way because, I mean, it's the current strong picks. Like we got Saya, Rakan, and we got Gragas, which is a pretty good jungler as well, and Yasuo. So I was basically just like, I just look at their comp. I see that they have a lot of split push and a lot of like they have Tom Kench to assist the cannon in the side lane. So I just went like a more tank in our build, and we just went for the team fighting.
And you suit you very well. Now, game after game, you guys are getting really better. But what would you like to improve before playoffs kick in?
Well, I think before playoffs, we just need to get, like, we have, like, the fundamentals. We're working on the fundamentals, and I think we just need to, like, fix the small mistakes we do every game. Like, I think every game we have, like, these small mistakes which kind of make the game different to what it should be. I think besides that, we're all very good players, and I believe in all of us and our ability to, like, carry and show a good performance in playoffs.
Yeah, it's nice to see such a confident team. And you have one more week to prove that. Now, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you.
We are going to take a short break, and when we come back, it's going to be the last match of the week, Splice versus Fnatic. Stay tuned.